Minecraft Java Edition is the first and longest running version of the game, spanning over 10 years of content updates that have changed and improved the game in many ways. Some updates were bigger than others, and some updates were more significant. In this series, I'm taking a look at every major update to Minecraft Java Edition, starting from the earliest versions of the game all the way to the most recent updates. This is part 3 out of 4. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2 yet, then I recommend watching those videos first, and then coming back to this video when you're ready. In my previous videos, we went through all the early test phases of Minecraft alongside the official release, and so in this video, we'll be taking a look at updates 1.1 all the way through 1.10. If you end up enjoying this video, like and subscribe, and let's carry on. This is the first official update that Minecraft has ever received, and with it comes a new world type, Super Flat, which allows you to get as creative as you possibly can. Beaches have been added to the overworld, spawn eggs have been introduced, which allow you to spawn in any mob in the game with a few exceptions. Bows can now receive enchantments, and along with this, there are 4 new enchantments exclusive to bows. These include Power, Punch, Infinity, and Flame. Then finally, there are 56 new languages that you can play Minecraft in, which opens up Minecraft to more people across the world. Desert walls have been introduced, which are the best structure in the game. The jungle biome has also been introduced, which comes with a new tree type and a new mob, the ocelots. Ocelots can be bred with fish, and breeding them will tame them into a cat, giving you another new companion to be with you. Speaking of companions, the iron golem has been introduced, which just like the snow golem you have to craft. You can craft an iron golem by making a 2-block T shape out of iron blocks and placing a carved pumpkin on top. Iron golems will attack any hostile mob, and as of this version, they're the strongest non-boss mob in the game. Zombies now have the ability to break down doors, and sometimes around villages, a large group of zombies will spawn. This is known as a zombie siege. A few new blocks have been added, which include chiseled stone bricks, jungle logs and leaves, and redstone lamps. The Bottle of Enchanting has been introduced, which will give you XP if you break it, but as of this version it's only available in creative mode. Fire charges have also been added, which you can shoot out of a dispenser. 1.2.4 adds spruce, birch, and jungle planks, giving you a lot more variety for building. Commands have been added to the core game, which allow you to change certain rules within the game. These include things like changing the game difficulty, changing the game mode you're playing on, and changing the time of day. Emerald ore has been added, but it's extremely rare to find. However, there is an easier way of obtaining emeralds, which would be from trading. Villagers now have the ability to trade items, and their primary currency is emeralds, so you can either trade random items for emeralds, or you can trade emeralds for valuable items, which include things that were once unobtainable in survival mode like chainmail armor and bottles of enchanting. Adventure mode has been introduced, which is basically just survival mode, but you can't break any blocks. Desert pyramids and jungle pyramids have been added, or as we like to call them, desert temples and jungle temples. They both come with their own unique traps that have a chance of killing you if you're not careful enough. Desert temples have a pressure plate that's connected to TNT, and jungle temples are full of tripwire hooks connected to dispensers that will shoot arrows at you. Sounds dangerous, but each one generates the same, so you can easily figure out how to avoid the traps and get the awesome treasure. Desert villages have also been added, which are basically just normal villages but made out of sandstone blocks. Bonus chests are now an option if you want a head start in your world, and speaking of chests, ender chests have been added, which will keep the same contents inside them across any chest you place down. Tripwire hooks have also been introduced, which do exactly what you expect them to. Book and quill has been added, which is a type of book that you can actually write stuff in. A new world type has been added, large biomes. In this world type, biomes will generate 16 times larger than they normally do, and that's really about the only difference. This is the first major update continuing onwards to have an official name. This update introduces some new spooky themed mobs. These include bats, which are a passive mob that do nothing but fly around, zombie villagers, which are like normal zombies, but if you give them a splash potion of weakness and a golden apple, they'll turn back into a normal villager. Witches, which you can find in witch huts, a new structure in this update. They'll attack you with splash potions, and they'll drop potion ingredients upon death. Wither skeletons, which will spawn in nether fortresses, and they'll give you a new effect called Wither if they attack you. Then finally there's a brand new boss, the Wither, which you can spawn to the world by using soul sand and wither skulls. It will fly around and shoot wither skulls at you, and it can also heal slowly, so be quick. If you kill the Wither, it will drop a new item called a nether star, which can be used to craft a beacon. Beacons are a new block that give you special buffs if powered. You can power them by creating a pyramid of iron, gold, emerald, or diamond blocks. Speaking of new blocks, the command block has been introduced. You can type a command into the block, and it will summon that command if activated by redstone. Anvils have also been added, which you can use to repair tools and armor, add enchantments to tools and armor, and it can also be used to give a name to any item you put inside. For some reason, they're also affected by gravity. Mob heads have been added, which exist for zombies, skeletons, creepers, wither skeletons, and Steve. The zombie, skeleton, and creeper heads can be obtained by having these mobs get blown up by a charged creeper, and wither skulls have a rare chance of dropping from wither skeletons when killed. A few new building blocks have been added, which include flower pots, cobblestone walls, and wooden buttons. A few new types of food have been added, which include potatoes, carrots, golden carrots, and pumpkin pie. Carrots can actually be used to make a carrot on a stick, which can be used to control a pig when riding on them. 2 new potions have been added. These include invisibility, which turns the player invisible, and night vision, which gives you night vision. A bunch of new redstone blocks have been added. These include the block of redstone, activator rails, redstone comparator, weighted pressure plates, trapped chest, dropper, daylight sensor, and best of all, the hopper. There's also now minecarts with hoppers and minecarts with TNT, which can be activated using the activator rail. The first ever ore has been added to the nether, which is nether quartz. Nether quartz can be used to make new building blocks, and it can also be used to craft some of the new redstone blocks like the daylight sensor. As the name implies, horses have been introduced. You can tame them by trying to ride on them, and once you've tamed them, you can place a saddle on them and control them as you please. Horse armor has also been added, which you can place onto horses in order to give them extra defense. Donkeys have also been added, which act similar to horses, but you can't place armor on them. Instead, you can place a chest on them so you can bring around more items with you. Donkeys and horses can actually be bred together to make a mule, which acts and behaves like a donkey. Zombie horses and skeleton horses have also been added, but they're not obtainable in survival as of this version. Leads have been added, which you can attach to any mob and move them around wherever you want, and you can also attach leads to fence posts to keep the mob in one spot. Along with this, name tags have been introduced, which allow you to give a name to any mob you want. A few new building blocks have been added. These include hardened clay, stained clay, carpets, hay bales, and the block of coal. This update adds a bunch of new biomes to the overworld. These include the savanna, roofed forest, birch forest, ice spikes, mega taiga, and the badlands. While on the topic of world generation, there are new variants of older biomes, and caves have become less dense and less interconnected. A bunch of new blocks have been added, which include acacia and dark oak wood, packed ice, podzol, coarse dirt, red sand, a bunch of new flowers, and stained glass. New infested blocks have also been added. You can now get more items from fishing. These include junk items, valuable items, and 3 new fish, which include salmon, clownfish, and pufferfish. All 3 of these can be consumed, but clownfish and pufferfish can't be cooked, and pufferfish will give you poison, hunger, and nausea if you eat it. Pufferfish, however, can be used to make a new type of potion, water-breathing potions. A new world type has been added, Amplified. In this world type, everything generates like a tall mountain, and it may also blow up your computer, so be careful. Bountiful is another word for big, which means this is a big update. The first underwater structure has been added, ocean monuments, which are made up of new blocks that include prismarine, prismarine bricks, dark prismarine, and sea lanterns. The structure is a labyrinth full of one-eyed fish called guardians that will shoot lasers at you, and there are 3 stronger guardians called elder guardians, which are basically mini-bosses. Elder guardians will give you a new effect called mining fatigue, which makes it almost impossible to break any blocks, meaning you have to explore the structure without breaking anything. But once you've killed all 3 elder guardians, you can do as you please. 8 gold blocks are generated at the center of the monuments, and sponges will generate inside of monuments, which officially adds them into survival Minecraft. They work the way they normally do, but now when a sponge soaks up water, it'll create a wet sponge. Wet sponges can be placed into a furnace in order to turn it back into a regular sponge, and then you can keep using it as you please. New types of stone will generate underground. These include granite, diorite, and andesite. These can be crafted into polished variants. Slime blocks have been added which you can bounce on, and they can be useful with redstone. Armor stands have been added, which you can use to show off your diamond armor. A few extra new blocks have been added which include red sandstone, banners, and new types of doors for each wood type. Speaking of, crafting a door now gives you 3 by default. Sheep will now drop mutton if you kill them, and there's also another new source of food, rabbits. Rabbits are a new mob that will spawn in the overworld. Killing them will give you rabbit as food, and rabbit hide will drop which you can use to make leather. Rabbits will also drop rabbit's foot which can be used to make a new type of potion, leaping potions. Endermites have also been added, which will sometimes have a chance to spawn when you throw an ender pearl. Barrier blocks have been added, which allow you to place invisible barriers in your world, and along with this, world borders have been introduced. These offer new customizable options for map makers. A new game mode has also been added, Spectator Mode, which allows you to view your world as a literal spectator. This can be very useful when you're underground. Spectator Mode also allows you to see stuff from the point of view of any mob, and some mobs like creepers give you a different lens to view the world in. As the title implies, the combat system in Minecraft has been reworked. There is now a cooldown for weapons, and there's an attack meter that dictates how much damage you do. Dual wielding has been added, which allows you to hold 2 different items at once. For example, you can mine blocks with one hand and hold a map with the other hand, and you can attack mobs while holding food, so you can quickly regain hunger. Shields have also been introduced, which allow you to block off enemy attacks. New types of arrows have been added called tipped arrows, which can apply potion effects to anything they hit. Along with this, there's also spectral arrows, which will show the borders of any mob it hits. There's a new enchantment called Frostwalker, which will temporarily turn water into ice when you step on it, and there's also the Mending enchantment, which will take the XP you collect and use it to repair your tools and armor. The end dimension has received some changes. The obsidian tower is now generating a circle around the island, the exit portal is now fully visible from start to finish, and the ender dragon has a few new mechanics like perching down the exit portal, and it has a new attack called Dragon's Breath. Dragon's Breath can actually be picked up with a bottle and is used to create lingering potions, which are like splash potions but will create a cloud of effect wherever they land. Lingering potions can also be used to make tipped arrows. Back over to the end, after you defeat the Ender Dragon, the exit portal will open up like always, but an extra portal will also open up around the outskirts of the island, and this portal will take you to a new area of the end, the Outer Islands. The Outer Islands are clusters of islands that exist 1,000 blocks away from the main island. They're mostly the same, but in this area, you'll come across fields of chorus fruits and a new structure called an End City, which is basically a tower made of new end blocks that include endstone bricks, purple blocks, purple pillars, purple slabs, purple stairs, and end rods. You'll also come across a new mob called a shulker, which is a weird box creature that shoots balls at you that make you levitate. It doesn't move around, but sometimes it will teleport when it's close to death. End cities have a chance to generate with an end ship, and inside of the end ship, you'll find a dragon head, along with a new item called an elytra, which gives you the ability to fly. Igloos have been added as a new structure, which may or may not have a secret room inside of them. New foods have been added, which include beetroot and chorus fruit. Beetroot isn't anything special, but chorus fruit will make you teleport if you eat it. Dirt paths have been added, which you can create using a shovel. 2 new variants of command blocks have been added, which include repeat and chain. Repeat command blocks will keep repeating the same command over and over again, and chain command blocks are activated when a command block pointing into it is activated. If you die in hardcore, the world no longer gets deleted, and instead you can spectate the world. The structure block has been fully implemented. It can be used to generate any type of structure in the game. The structure void has also been added, which can be used to indicate to the structure block that certain air blocks can be overridden by previously existing blocks in the destination, and I'll be honest, I have no idea what that means. A few new building blocks have been added, which include red nether bricks, netherwort blocks, bone blocks, and magma blocks. Magma blocks will generate in the deeper depths of the nether, and bone blocks can generate as part of a new rare structure in the overworld, fossils. Speaking of structures, savanna villages and taiga villages have been added, which will generate with their respective wood types, and zombie villages have been added. Abandoned mineshafts can now generate on the surface in Badlands, and they're mostly the same. The only difference is that the support pillars are made of dark oak wood rather than regular oak wood. Polar bears have been added, which are supposed to be neutral, but they can easily get hostile. Desert zombies have been added called husks. They're like normal zombies, except they can't burn in daylight, and they'll give you the hunger effect if they attack you. Snowy skeletons have been added called strays, which are like normal skeletons, except that they shoot tipped arrows of soulness at you. Auto jumping has been introduced, which for some reason is on by default. One final thing to mention, Endermen can now spawn in the Nether. And that's where we're going to stop for this video. The next video will be the final video in this series, and in it we'll be taking a look at updates 1.11 through 1.20. If you're interested in watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and turn on the bell to be notified when I upload a new video. I would really appreciate it. And if you want to support me further, become a channel member to get access to special features, but it's your choice if you want. And yeah, thanks for watching, and peace out.